Some horror movies should come with a warning. This may cause you to scream like a crybaby. In this video, I'm counting down the top 10 most intense jump scares of all time. These are the moments that didn't just make me jump, they made me reconsider my life choices. Like, should I just switch to talking about romantic comedies instead? Whether you're a true horror fan or just here for the thrills, these jump scares are guaranteed to get your heart racing. So buckle up, because it's about to get scary. Let's go. First up, we have a film that will not only ruin your day, but also your appetite. There are several crime scenes in this movie, but the one with sloth definitely takes the cake. When Detective Mills and Somerset stumble upon a rotting body tied to a bed, you immediately have this false sense of security. I mean, okay, it's just another corpse. No big deal, right? Wrong. The corpse suddenly starts wheezing, and you realize that the poor guy is still alive. This is not just a jump scare, it's the moment when we truly see the brutality of the serial killer. Seven proves that sometimes the worst thing imaginable isn't death, it's continuing to live when you should have died. This film by James Wan has plenty of jump scares, but none of them are as iconic as the sudden appearance of the lipstick-faced demon. It happens during a calm scene where Lorraine is talking about a nightmare she had. The dream is spooky and you expect the jump scare to happen in there, but it doesn't. Everything seems fine until the camera shifts and suddenly the red-faced demon appears right behind Josh's head. This jump scare in 2010's Insidious works so well because it takes place in broad daylight and the characters are sitting in the kitchen, not exploring a haunted house, until the demon's face appears. I watched this scene and suddenly wanted to install lights in every dark corner of my house. The demon's name might sound silly, but don't let that fool you. The scare is no joke. This film has so many claustrophobia-inducing moments that it felt like my own walls were closing around me. Seriously, who thought spelunking was a good idea? The first contact with the crawlers happens when the women are deep inside the cave system. They're already on edge trying to find their way out, when Holly hears something in the shadows. She grabs the camera with night vision and begins to scan the surroundings. As the camera pans around, everything is tense and quiet. Then, all of a sudden, you see it. A pale, human-like creature standing inches away from the women, completely silent. Seeing the crawler sends such a jolt through your system that it's impossible not to jump. And just like that, the descent goes from being a tense thriller to a horror film with weird creatures. The moral of the story is, never go spelunking, ever. This film has a jump scare that will make you swear off diners. Two men are at a diner and one guy casually mentions that he had a nightmare about this exact spot. You know, just normal diner chat. He says there's a scary man behind the diner who is just menacing in every way. To make him stop worrying, his friend says they should go check it out, because what could go wrong? As they move closer to the back alley, the tension ramps up to 11. Something is coming, and we can feel it. Then, bam! The creepy bum pops out, and it's like getting slapped in the face with pure terror. You knew it was coming, and yet nothing could have prepared you. If you want more mind-bending moments like this, check out Mulholland Drive. In this spot, we have the slasher film that made summer camp seem like a death sentence. By the time you reach the end of the movie, you're pretty sure all the dread is over. The killer has been revealed and decapitated, and Alice, the main character, is safe, right? Wrong again. As she floats in a canoe, just when you think it's all over, Jason Voorhees, yes, that Jason, rises from the lake to drag her under. This scare has been copied 1,000 times, but nothing compares to how it's used in 1980's Friday the 13th. The ending might not make much sense. Is it a dream? Is it real? But it's definitely a shocking moment that leaves you gasping for breath. Okay, so in a list like this, you just know Jaws is gonna show up. But instead of the famous "you're gonna need a bigger boat" scene, let's talk about that freaky moment when a head pops up out of nowhere. While investigating a sinking boat at night, Hooper discovers a huge shark tooth and decides to take a closer look. He's underwater with a single light source and cold darkness all around him. Perfect conditions for things to go sideways. And then, out of nowhere, Ben Gardner's decomposed head decides to say hello. The chilling score and camera work together so well that when the head suddenly pops into view, it's pure nightmare fuel. For this pick, we're looking at a sequel which does not have the reputation of the first one, but it makes up for this by having the jump scare to end all jump scares. The scene takes place in a hospital late at night. A nurse is doing her rounds, going about her routine, and the whole place is silent. The camera stays at a distance, just watching the nurse as she moves around. Nothing seems out of the ordinary, but you can feel that something isn't right. You don't know when or where it's gonna happen. Then, immediately, the nurse locks a door and turns away. A figure in white wielding large shears rushes at her from behind. The camera suddenly zooms in, and there's a shrieking sound that hits you like a punch. This scene is from The Exorcist 3, and it's one of the most intense scares in horror history. This film introduced us in the West to the terrifying world of Japanese horror, and with it came one of the most memorable scares ever. Rachel is shown a photo of her niece Katie, and the scene flashes back to when Katie's mother discovers her body. As she opens a closet door, there's a sudden cut to Katie's face, twisted in terror, her eyes wide open. The scene in The Ring starts out calm, but the instant you see Katie's horrifying face, it shocks you. The scare comes with no buildup, making the impact even stronger. It lingers in your mind, making you dread ever finding something that horrifying in your own closet. This film is full of scary moments, but nothing compares to the infamous lawnmower scene. The scene shows Ellison watching a creepy home movie. The footage starts off slow, showing someone mowing a lawn at night. It seems harmless, just a lawnmower moving through the dark, but then, out of nowhere, the lawnmower suddenly runs over a person lying in the grass, and the screen cuts to black with a loud noise. What makes this jump scare so effective is how unexpected it is. The scene drags on, making you think nothing is gonna happen, and then, bam, sudden murder. The disturbing imagery makes this jump scare from 2012's Sinister stick with you for a while. Who knew lawnmowers could mess you up like that? This movie is a masterpiece, and its scares aren't just about making you jump. No, they want to really get under your skin. But there is one jump scare that stands out, the infamous ceiling crawler. In the climax of Hereditary, as the camera pans around a dark room, you suddenly notice something is off. And then you see her. The mother, who is now possessed and contorted, is crawling on the ceiling like a spider. The reveal is so subtle at first, you almost don't notice it until she starts moving. And then it's too late. The scare doesn't rely on loud noises or sudden movements like you'd expect. It's the dread that comes with slowly realizing what's going on, and that makes it so terrifying. This one made me check my ceiling 100 times before bed. So there you have it, 10 jump scares that are guaranteed to send shivers down your spine. Whether it's a sudden demon in the kitchen or a decaying head bobbing into view, these moments remind us why we love and hate horror movies. Okay, you made it this far. Click the join button below and become part of the Replay Media fam, with perks like early access to videos and exclusive content for horror fans. What are you waiting for? Join now!